A single prisoner altered the fate of hundreds, but he paid a high price for it. He defeated the Sleeper, destroyed the barrier. But while all the other prisoners escaped, he remained behind in the rubble. It was I who dispatched him against the Sleeper. Now it is I who brings him back from there. He is weak and has forgotten much. But he is alive. He's back. Finally, I've been trying to bring you here for days.
I felt like I spent 3 days lying under a load of rocks.
Well, so you did. Only the magic within your armor kept you alive. But enough of this. You're bound to get all your strength back.
At least we have enough time now. I did it. The Sleeper
has been banned. You vanquished him, so much is true. But it's not within our power to stop the war that ensues now.
You're talking about the orcs?
I am talking about much more terrible creatures. With his final furious scream, the Sleeper has set into movement the armies of darkness. It was an order to all evil creatures, a word of power that they were all bound to obey. His last order was, "Come!" And they came, all of them, even the dragons.
Dragons?
They are creatures of an ancient power. I can sense their presence, even here. And they have gathered an entire army of lowly servant creatures around them.
Where's this army now?
The army is camped not far from here, in the Valley of Mines near Corinus, and they're getting ready to attack. We do not have much time left.
What can we do?
This time we cannot handle it by ourselves. Only the power of Innos will help us against these dragons. A group of paladins is stationed in the city of Corinus, not far from here. They possess a powerful artifact which could help us to defeat the dragons. They call it the Eye of Innos. You need to get hold of this artifact. Tell the paladins about the threat. You must convince their leader to support us.
What exactly is the Eye of Innos?
It's an amulet. Legend has it that Innos himself was poured part of his power into this amulet. It will restore some of your lost strength and help us defeat the dragons. It also has some other hidden powers. I shall tell you more about that once the amulet is yours.
Why would the paladins give me the Eye of Innos?
Because you are the one who is destined to wear it.
How can you claim to know that?
There are a number of reasons. The most important being, you have defeated the Sleeper. If you weren't a favorite of the gods, you'd be dead by now.
Let's assume you're right and I'm destined to bear the Eye of Innos. How would the paladins know that's true?
The eye itself chooses the one who may wear it. Once you get hold of it and put it on, the paladins cannot doubt your words any longer.
How can I get to the city?
Just follow the path from here through the mountains. The city is large. You cannot miss it, but watch out. The path to town is not without dangers, and you aren't nearly as strong as you once were.
I need weapons.
I can only give you whatever little I have here. Look around in my tower. Anything that looks useful to you, you can have.
I'll be on my way as fast as I can.
Good. And one more thing. Don't tell anyone that you've talked to me. Above all, don't tell any magician. Since I have gone into exile, the Circle of Fire has taken me for dead, and that's a good thing.
What with? What with? What with? What with? Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there.
Hey, where do you come from?
I've come from the mountains.
Exactly, you come from the mountains, and that is bad for you. Very bad. They're looking for you, a whole bunch of evil guys. There's someone here you absolutely have to talk to. Follow me.
Who's looking for me?
Half of Carinus is after you, and you're trying to tell me that you don't know anything about it? Ah, I see. You just don't want to talk to me about it, All right, it's your business. So, are you coming or not?
Who should I talk to?
To my leader. His name is Brago. He can explain everything to you better than I can. So, what about it? Are we going?
How do I know this isn't a trap?
You know, I'm getting tired of you. If you don't want my help, then just go to the city and let them put you behind bars. You come with me now or forget about it, see?
Easy, my friend. Someone else already tried to trick me.
Oh?
This guy suggested that we should get an amulet together and share the profit. Once we reached our goal, he and his friends attacked me.
It sounds as though they got you involved with the wrong people. Where was that?
That's not important.
Suit yourself. So, are we going now or not?
Maybe later.
There won't be a later for you, pal.
Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing to plunder.
I love this shit.
Nothing to be had there. Nothing there.
Who do we have here? You're on your way to the city. Am I not right?
Maybe.
You look like a fugitive. All fugitives are headed for the city. You could even be a former convict for the mining colony. I don't care where you come from, but I believe I have an interesting offer for you.
What do you have to offer?
The way you look, the guards will never let you into the city. I can help you get into the city. I have here a small piece of paper with the royal seal and the governor's signature. A pass. With this scrap of paper in your pocket, you can run about as raggedly as you please, and the guards will leave you alone. Interested?
What do you want for your pass?
I knew you were the right man. Listen, you will get the pass from me, now.
Just like that?
Just so. But if I meet you in the city, you owe me a favor. Do we have a deal?
How will you get into town?
The guards know me. I will simply tell them that I have lost my pass.
Sure, give me that paper.
Here, be careful with that. It is very valuable. One more thing. Don't even think about breaking your word. As a merchant, I have a great deal of influence in the city. And it wouldn't go well for you. Believe me.
Show me your wares.
Take your pick.
I've got to go.
Suit yourself.
Nothing to be had there.
Halt!
What is it?
You aren't getting in here, my boy.
Why not?
Looking the way you do, you're sure to cause nothing but trouble here, boy. We got enough rabble in the city. We have no use for people without money.
I've got a pass.
Really? And who you kill for that, you cutthroat?
Now, will you let me pass or not?
Well, go on in before I change my mind.
Halt, stranger. I am Lothar, paladin of the king and humble servant of Innos, your lord. Our commander, Lord Hagen, has entrusted me with the task of explaining to all newcomers the new laws which apply to all inhabitants of the city.
I've got my own opinion about that. That's all just gossip.
All right. Explain the rules of the city to me.
First,
I'd have gone about it
the
differently.
Honorable Paladin Lord Hagen resides in the upper quarter, along with his troops. That is why access to the upper quarter is allowed only to honorable citizens. Second,
Really didn't deserve
the
that.
town hall in the upper quarter is now the command post of the
You really
Paladins.
believe that?
Only the Paladins themselves and members of the militia have access to it. And third, whoever is accused of a crime must exonerate himself with the commander of the militia. Any questions?
I never knew that.
I don't know why I get so worked up.
There's nothing you can do about it.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
Where can I spend the night here?
If you're looking for a place to sleep, go to the hotel directly across from the barracks. The Paladins pay for the lodging of all travelers who come to the city. The traveling traders from the marketplace are also lodged there.
But he knew that all along.
I'm not telling you anything new.
I'm not touching that.
Is it really true?
I've heard a thing or two.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
I have an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
Enough trouble
The
as it
Honorable Lord Hagen is not receiving
I'm
anyone.
no better off
Lord
myself.
Andre, the commander of the city guard, is responsible for all issues pertaining to the common folk.
If he doesn't see that, I can't help him.
is. It can't go on like this forever.
He never would have thought of that himself.
I knew that would be a problem.
That was obvious all along.
I knew that would be a problem.
Listen, the city is threatened by dragons.
That can't be true. Another lunatic. We have enough unrest in the city as it is. And without some
knew that.
dimwit scaring people with fairy tales about dragons, I immediately locked up the last person who was here telling dragon tales and sent him to the Valley of Mines with the prison transport. So mind your tongue. We can't use anyone here who spreads panic among the
You
people.
hardly know who to believe these days.
So why won't they listen to me?
Somebody already reported the dragons here?
Yes. The fellow's name was Diego. I think so, in any case. I warned him just like you. But the lunatic just wouldn't stop
would be a
getting on my nerves.
That's really not my problem.
I don't believe this.
Where can I find the commander of the city guard?
Lord Andre can be found in the barracks at the other end of the city.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
It's not what I heard.
I don't know why I get so worked up.
It's a bad business.
We can only wait and see.
I'd have gone about it.
How do I get to the upper quarter?
Say, are you listening to me at all? You're not a citizen of this town. You can save yourself the trip. The guards won't let you in. The entire area behind the inner gate is off limits to you.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
How do I become a citizen of the town?
Only those with regular jobs will be considered citizens of the
He never would
town.
have thought of that
But don't
himself.
think that you'll be admitted to Lord Hagen just because you're a citizen of the town. As a citizen, you have access to the upper quarter,
knew that.
nothing more. Only as a member of the militia will you have access to the town hall.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
Where can I find work?
You'll have to apply as an apprentice to one of the masters here in the lower part of the city. As soon as a master accepts you, you are a citizen of the town.
You really believe
However,
that?
the other masters must agree to it. That's the custom here in Corinus. If you were thinking about looking for work in the
never
Harbor
would have thought of
District,
that himself.
forget it. The scum of the city live
for
there.
me.
Don't even go there. You would regret it.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
I've heard a
How do I get accepted into the militia?
By express command of Lord Hagen, only citizens of the town will be admitted into the militia.
I see.
If you want to know more, speak to Lord Andre in the barracks.
Just like you said.
That's been known a long time.
What do I have to do to get armor like yours?
What? You aren't even a member of the militia. You're not even a citizen. How can you even think of being allowed to wear the armor of a paladin? Only a few militia soldiers, those who have performed extraordinary deeds, have been granted that honor so far. If you want to be a paladin,
That's really
you
not
have
my
a
problem.
long road ahead of you, my boy.
So why won't they listen to me?
I've got to go.
Don't tell
If
me
I
you know
hear
that.
one more time that you are telling people here about dragons, you will be in big trouble. Do I make myself
Listen to the
clear?
wrong people.
Hello, stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
Or two.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
You really didn't deserve that.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
What do you have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore. And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
I'm not touching that.
Tell me more about the peasants' revolt.
It's quite simple.
There's nothing you can
Onar,
do about it.
the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases, but now comes the best part.
Nobody will
They
learn
say
anything from me.
Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back.
About that.
Mercenaries. The whole
doesn't
thing will end
surprise
in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
I'm not touching that.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
They listen to
I
me.
heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony, and their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are
Never knew that.
terrible times.
Show me your wares.
Is it really true?
You really didn't deserve that.
I never knew that. That was
I need
obvious
some
all
money,
along.
and I'm looking for work.
I've heard that Bosper has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty
There's
well.
nothing you can do about it.
That was quite obvious.
He never would have thought of that.
Hey, what's new?
Everyone is waiting for the Paladins to announce why they're really here. I suspect it's because of the orcs. They're sure to attack soon. The Paladins may have the blessing of Innos, but when the orc hordes show up here, that's it for us.
What can you tell me about this area?
You are now in the lower part of town. Where do you want to go?
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know. Who are the most important citizens in this town?
Besides the Paladins, the master craftsmen in the lower part of town. They are all very important.
What interesting things are there to see here?
The big ship that the Paladins came in is in the harbor. It's an enormous boat. You have to take a look at it, but I can't imagine that they'll let you on board. The Paladins guard the ship like the crown jewels. No wonder. It's the only seaworthy vessel anchored anywhere, far and wide.
That's the first I've heard of it.
gone about it differently.
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
Hey, you're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
I wouldn't be so sure.
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway. But you won't be officially admitted.
What else can you tell me about Lord Andre?
He has taken over the position of judge as well. If you cause any trouble in this town, you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
Known a long time.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
Why won't they listen to me?
But no, he insisted he knew better.
That's what I've always said.
That's the first I've heard of it. Where did you pick that up?
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Corinus, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
I've got my own opinion about that.
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
These are bad times.
I knew that would be a problem.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Corinus, especially lately.
Can't keep anything to himself.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
I don't know whether you can be trusted or not. For all I know, you might be one of those layabouts who only come to town to empty the chests of honest people. I'm not going to teach you anything before I'm convinced that you're an honest fellow.
Don't tell this to anyone.
I'm not touching that.
But that's terrible.
What if I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters here?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Why get so worked up?
Yes, a most humble servant, Master Thorben.
Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing too.
Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
How about your approval, Master?
Has Vatras given you his blessing?
Not yet.
Then I don't know why you're asking me again.
You don't say.
You know my terms.
What do you know about the Paladins?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they have withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Do you know anything about the Peasants' Rebellion?
Rumor has it that Onar, the landowner, has hired mercenaries to keep the king's troops from breathing down his neck. He was probably tired of having to throw his harvest along with his livestock at paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. Onar's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
What's new?
More and more riffraff have been pouring into town lately. Thefts are on the rise, and Lord Andre suspects that it's the work of a gang. Not long ago, we turned the entire harbor district upside down, but we still haven't found a thing.
What is there to know about this town?
The Paladins now have control over the whole city. The entire militia reports to them. Lord Andre is the commander of the militia, and at the same time he acts as the judge. If you should ever run foul of the law, you'll have to justify yourself to him. But he's pretty lenient by all accounts. He usually lets people get away with a fine.
What can you tell me about this area?
You're now in the lower part of town. Where do you want to go?
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know.
Hey, new in the city, huh? I'm Brian. I'm Master Harrod's apprentice.
What's it like to be the smith's apprentice?
Why do you ask? You want to be my successor?
Maybe.
Why not? I'm almost done with my apprenticeship, and then I'm gonna leave the city. But not because of Harrod. He is a good master. I have learned a lot from him.
Why do you want to leave this town?
Because the people here are getting on my nerves above all the other masters. I still remember what a fuss it was getting accepted as an apprentice with Harrod. Really, every one of them jokers had something to say about it. I want to decide for myself who I can or can't take as an apprentice.
Who are the other masters?
Well, there's Thorben the carpenter, Bosper the bowmaker, Constantino the alchemist, and Matteo. He sells armor, but first of all, he's a merchant. All the masters have their houses here on the street, and Constantino's shop is in the underpass to the temple.
Tell me more about Master Harrod.
He's not in a very good mood right now. A few days ago, the Paladins came and ordered him to forge some swords for them. They've even forbidden him to sell swords to anyone else. Now he slaves day and night to finish the job as quickly as possible.
Can I buy weapons from you?
Not really, I'm merely an assistant. The weapons that are made in this smithy are collected by the militia and taken to the towers where they're stored. But if it has anything to do with forging, maybe I can help you.
What can I get from you?
I can sell you some steel billets.
Hey, you!
What do you want?
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean, do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
I'm not a good-for-nothing.
Those are big words. Can you back them up with big deeds?
What are you getting at?
Bring me an orc's weapon. Orcs have been seen near the city. With a bit of luck, you won't have to search for long. If you manage to bring one down, I'll take you on as an apprentice, provided the other masters agree.
Can I sign on as an apprentice with a different master?
The other masters may well approve, but I will only give you my approval when you first prove that you're good for something.
Do you sell weapons too?
Forget it. Everything I make goes to the paladins or the militia. I have a commission for 100 swords from Lord Hagen. He wants to equip the city guard.
When can I start as your apprentice?
Not before you've proven to me that you're good for something.
Was a torment for Beliar. All that Innos created was destroyed by Beliar.
I never knew that.
But Adonos saw that this way, nothing could exist at all. No light and no darkness.
Hey!
And so he set himself between his
what have we
brothers
here?
in order
Have
to
you
reconcile
no
their
manners?
dispute.
That's
And he
disgusting.
did
Oh,
not
is this
succeed.
filthy rabble? Haven't you a job where you ought to be?
But
I
there,
suppose no
where
one would
Adonos
miss a
stood,
down-at-heel
was a
fellow like
place in
you,
which
hey?
Innos and
Well, if you had
Beliar
as much gold
had
as
no
I do,
power.
you wouldn't have to work either. But you'll never be that rich.
I see I'm gonna have lots of fun with
And
you.
in this place, order and chaos were equal. And so the sea was created.
Do you have anything else to tell me?
Make yourself
And the
popular, never
sea
promise
released
anything
the
to
land.
anyone. Take what
And
you can
there
and watch
arose
out that you don't get
all
into a
creatures,
quarrel with the militia.
trees as well
Or
as
with jealous
animals,
husbands, of course. They're the
wolves as
worst,
well
let
as
me tell
sheep.
you.
And last of all arose the human. And Adonos was pleased with what had arisen, and he delighted in all the beings equally.
Wait a
But
minute.
so great was the wrath of Beliar that he came
Do you
across
have anything
the land
else to
and
tell me?
chose
I've told
the
you
beast.
everything you need to
And
know. The
Beliar
rest is up to
spoke
you.
it, and the beast became his subject. And Beliar gave unto it up. Adonos be with you.
Who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adonos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
That was quite obvious.
I'm asking your blessing.
Why should I give you my blessing, stranger?
I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the masters in the lower part of town.
I may give you my blessing, stranger, but I know nothing about you. Tell me about yourself.
What do you want to know?
Well, you could tell me where you come from and why you have come to the city.
I carry an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
What is this message?
Where did you pick that up, then?
Someone's got to do the work.
Terrible things are bound to happen soon.
Terrible things, hmm? How do you know this?
That's an open secret.
You didn't get that.
No, I heard rumors somewhere.
Aha! And that is why you have made this journey. Who are you really?
Why won't they listen to me?
That's what I've always
I'm an adventurer from down south.
Don't say you didn't know that.
And will you give me your blessing now?
Good. Let us summarize. You are an adventurer from down south who heard rumors that terrible things are going to happen. And you have come to report this to the Paladins. I think there's something you're not telling me. If you're worried I might pass on what you tell me, then let me reassure you. I have sworn to keep all secrets I am entrusted with to myself. Let's start over at the beginning. What's that message?
Terrible things are bound to happen soon.
Aha! And who has told you this?
can't take care of everything for everybody.
I already thought as much.
No, I heard rumors somewhere.
Do you at least remember where you come from?
Really didn't deserve that.
Now that's typical, isn't it?
But he knew that all along.
I'm a former convict from the penal colony of Corinus.
It's an open secret.
And will you give me your blessing now?
Good. Let us summarize. You are a former prisoner who heard rumors that terrible things are going to happen. And you have come to report this to the Paladins. I have now given you 2 chances to tell me the truth, but you apparently do not want to. I shall not give you my blessing.
His decision, wasn't it?
Enough trouble as it is.
You listen to the wrong people.
Really, how interesting.
Can you teach me something about magic?
Only the chosen of Innos and the chosen of Adanos are permitted to work rune magic. But common mortals can also work magic with the help of spell scrolls. I can show you how you can channel and expand your magic powers.
All along.
Is it really true?
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
Can't rely on that.
You know, I get so worked up.
That doesn't amaze
Tell me about the gods.
What exactly would you like to know?
His decision, wasn't it?
So why won't they listen to me?
Is it really true?
And that's the truth.
I'm not touching that.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
That's not what I heard.
Same
Tell me about Innos.
all
Very
over
well.
again.
So sure.
Innos is the first and highest god. He created the sun and the world. He commands light and fire, his gifts to humanity. He is law and justice. His priests are the magicians of fire. The paladins are his warriors.
I've got no time for things like that.
Tell me about Adanos.
Adanos is the god of the center. He is the scales of justice and guardian of the balance between Innos and Beliar. He commands the power of change. His gift is the water in all the oceans, rivers, and lakes. His priests are the water mages, just as I am a servant and priest of Adanos.
Never thought of that himself.
Tell me about Beliar.
Beliar is the dark god of death, destruction, and all things unnatural. He is in eternal battle with Innos, but Adanos guards the balance between the two. Only a few humans follow the call of Beliar. However, he grants great strength to those who do.
Tell this to anyone.
And that's the truth.
It can't go on like this forever.
You listen to the wrong people.
Someone's got to do the work.
He really should have known.
Can you heal me?
Adanos, bless this body. free it of its wounds, and strengthen it with new life.
You don't have to tell
I want to increase my magic powers.
That's not what I heard.
It had to happen sooner or later.
So sure. Is it really true?
He'd better shut up.
I couldn't care less.
I can't believe that.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
He really should have known better.
I can't believe that.
That's all just gossip.
Now that's typical, isn't it?
I used to say that myself.
That was quite obvious.
I never knew that.
That's not what my husband thinks.
Nobody wants to know.
I knew that would be a problem.
How's it going?
You're not from around here, are you? Never mind. Neither am I.
Where did you hang around before?
In the woods, hunting scavengers and wolves together with some hunters. But I gave it up. These are dangerous times. There's a lot of riffraff running around out
I
there.
hardly know what to believe anymore.
It's a bad business.
And it's going to get even worse.
I'm staying out of it.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
It's a bad business.
Where can I find the other
Can't take
hunters?
care of everything
We had
now.
our camp outside near the tavern halfway to Onar's farm.
Deserve that.
But I don't know whether there is anyone left in the camp now.
I witnessed it myself.
Things I could tell you.
You didn't get that from me.
Can you teach me something about hunting?
Go away,
I can
don't
teach
tell
you
me.
how to sneak properly and how to handle a bow.
It can't
If
be
you want to
like this
learn how to skin an animal, go to Bosper. He's the one who taught me.
Too.
I used to say that myself.
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
I'm no better off myself.
Someone's got.
Why don't we go hunting together?
Can't rely on that.
With two, it isn't so dangerous, that's true. Do you know anything about hunting then? I mean, do you know how to skin an animal?
That's the
No.
first I've
Then
heard
it
of it.
wouldn't be worth it. Come back when you learn something.
That's not what my husband thinks.
You don't have to tell me that.
Where did you pick that up then?
I agree with you completely.
And it's going to get.
Hey, you!
I couldn't get away with that.
I hardly know
I
what
want to be able to handle a bow better.
Okay then, let's see if I can teach you anything.
I couldn't get away with that.
So why won't they listen to me?
You can't do anything about it.
Go away, don't tell me that.
The things I could tell you.
I can't believe that.
It's a
Hey.
bad business.
These are bad times.
It was his decision, wasn't it?
That's the first I've heard of it.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
That's what I've always said.
That will never change.
I can't be-
Can I get a drink here?
As long as you have gold, you can even eat here if you want.
And how's business going?
Ah, don't remind me. Lord Andre is serving free beer at the Gallows Square. Hardly anybody comes here now, except for the rich people from the upper quarter.
What's wrong with them?
Some of those swells can really get on your nerves. Take that Valentino, for instance. I can't stand the sight of him, but I can't pick my customers. I need every coin I can make. The little I had managed to save has been stolen, along with all my silver.
That will never change.
I can't believe that.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
And he works all day too.
Nobody wants to know.
You've been robbed?
Well, it's been a while already. It was still rather crowded that night, and I was doing the round serving beer. I wasn't gone long from behind the counter, but it was long enough for those bastards. I went to see the militia about it, but they couldn't find a thing, of course. They prefer to get plastered on free beer.
What is it with this Valentino?
He's filthy rich and has no need to work. And he brags about it to everyone. whether you want to hear it or not. He drinks a lot and always stays until the end. Then, early in the morning, he totters back to the upper quarter. It's the same every day.
Show me your wares. What do I have to do to get into the upper quarter?
You need to be a citizen of the town. Go find some work, preferably with the craftsmen in the lower part of town. That would make you a citizen. Well, and if that's still not enough, go talk to Lord Andre at the barracks. Maybe he'll let you join the city guard. They can go into the upper quarter, too.
Hey, you! What's new?
Have you heard? The orcs have been seen outside the city. Let's hope the paladins have enough men. I wonder whether that's the reason the farmers no longer come to the market.
No idea, you tell me.
Where did you pick that up then? He would have never thought of that himself.
You don't say.
Same old thing all over again.
Thought as much. Nothing amazes me anymore.
Really, how interesting.
Hey, you!
Why get so worked up?
What can I get from you?
I don't believe
I can
it.
sell you some steel billets.
That's the first I've heard of it.
But that's terrible.
Has anything exciting happened?
Oh well, all's quiet. I suppose that when the orcs come, we can't fail to notice.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
I wouldn't be so sure.
He would have never thought of that himself.
Now that's typical, isn't it?
No idea, you tell me.
I already thought as much.
Is it really true?
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
That's really not my problem. You really believe that?